guitar. Get a groovy session tomorrow. I'm looking forward to go play with a few of my friends here on island. It's not going to be the big sessions, the group that I get that we play like funk and all that sort of stuff. It could be mostly like blues and stuff, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't know. Guess I'm looking forward to the whole idea of playing a little lead guitar. Generally, I play bass when I go play with other people, and I sing. So I'm really kind of looking forward to getting some groove out. My buddy always likes playing like the band and 3-chord grooves like that, and it's fun because they play piano and organ and drums, and everybody kind of switches up here and there. So tomorrow's gonna be a lot of fun. I need to take a day of relaxation and rest-a-roo, and should be fun. But what I wanted to talk about today was like jobs. A lot of people that play music don't see the validity of learning music theory, and one of the things that I realized is I knew how to play like scales and stuff when I was younger, and when I was like in my teens, I got a job at a music store, and then in my 20s, I got a job at a music store, and then in my 30s, I got a job at a music store. The way I feel about it is every time you go to the music store, you're gonna meet people, or you are the person that is inspiring. So if you go to a music store and you work at a music store and all the other things that are associated with this, you meet different people that do different things. A lot of the really cool stuff that I didn't even think about when I was a little younger is how cool it is to meet people in the music industry that don't necessarily play the music, but they have the ability to give you insight into what the industry is about. And today, I guess, living in St. Louis, being in Nashville, being in California, seeing the people, knowing the people that I went to high school with that ended up working jobs in the industry, whether they worked at a music store or for one of the record labels, what I guess I gathered and I pieced together being in my 40s now is you just go for it. There is no rhyme or reason. Some musicians just have the gift, some don't, and then others work at it and strive for it. What I found in my own personal journey is that I'm not so much striving for getting the band back together or gonna be famous or anything. It's more like a personal satisfaction of like kind of understanding music. Hey Felix, what's up, dude? I played music for a long time, and now is my turn to learn it and play and teach it. If you can see from the channel, I don't really take myself too seriously. Felix, how you doing, brah? Or sister? I'm not sure. Felix, I think, is a male's name. Let's see here. Long story short, I really enjoy the music and I want to be able to teach it and give a little bit of good. Right on. I'm feeling okay. My mother passed away last week, and I'm trying to cope and doing what I do best, which is work, is generally the best thing. So long story short, I'm just trying to drown myself in the works. But tomorrow I'm going to play lead guitar with a band that I've played with a few times, but I've never played guitar for them. The guitarists that we have playing for them are very traditional, and I'm not very traditional. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm kind of just going through the process of processing it. I don't know if that even makes sense, but there's a certain level of grief that happens. You know, I wasn't really that super close with my family, but this brings a lot of unsettled things back. So long story short is I just want to have human experiences and feel emotions and be able to deal with them in real time without having some sort of preconceived notion of what anything is ever, and not praying to some fictitious deity to make it better. Life is life. That's what I am. Hi, Curdy. That's an interesting name. Curdy? Is it from Kirsty? Kirsty? Oh, you know what? I need to put a piece of cardboard underneath. Yeah. Forgot about these Floyd Roys. They dig into the base of the guitar if you don't. Wah, wah. A little bit harder than other ones. It goes right up through the bottom, and then you put it right up through here and has lockers on both sides. That way, when I tune it up and I get it all in there and everything all nice and stretched out, it just doesn't go out of tune. Get there, keep burning. Thank you, Rohit. Yeah, I will eventually, because the idea is I got nothing better to do in the life than to have fun, teach, play music. Right now I am building a house, and building the house is extremely hard. One, never done it. And two, nobody helps. And the people who do help, they have other stuff going on, so I feel bad being like, hey, I need help again, or hey, blah, 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 me. So long story short is I'm extremely grateful for the small group of male friends that I have found that work, not that they're all male, but that work construction jobs that were able to take me on, teach me how to do stuff so I could build my life ground up. So if you are under the age of, I don't know, let's say 25 and you have the gumption to build a house, do it now. Don't do it in your 40s. Super, super crazy. I got on my stairs. I was taking off the treads. I took all of them off because I wanted to do it in one felt swoop. I forgot that I took them off. I turned around and Wile E. Coyote down the stairs. Turned around in midair and then fell on the floor and got whiplash. My hand went down and smacked the floor, and there just happened to be a crowbar sitting on the floor, and my hand went into it. And then I lost the ability to move my hand for 6 months. So you can see how that affects you, as needing to work labor and being able to eat. And then the secondary is I teach music. You can't teach music if your hand doesn't work. Put a lot of things in perspective for me. And I got to a point where I sat with my wife and we talked it out, and I don't really want to do anything else in life besides this. So if this channel makes it, wonderful. If it doesn't, wonderful. Thank you for subbing, Felix. Yeah, I think there's something like 8,000 subscribers. Of that 8,000, I talk to about 200 on a weekly basis. I answer questions musically, and those people have slowly become my members. So if you watch this and you want to support my dream and you have $5, become a member. I don't even think it's $5. I think it's like $1.99 or $2 or something. Long story short is when you donate, you are supporting me and my dream. There is going to be stuff like this, but this kind of stuff is probably going to be members only, because I don't really want to go on a music channel and just like go live and it's just some old white guy with a beard, blah, blah, blah. So, one, don't take myself too serious. Two, I try to look everything at like a Eastern meets Western philosophy as the teacher and as the student, because that's quite what life is. And then, try to go about my business and not hurt anybody or harm anybody with my views. And then I'm not going to force anybody to look at that stuff because nobody cares. But I would like to reflect some of the awesomeness that is my life and how much I love the students that I have. I love the place that I live. I feel like I'm needed in my community. And if I could express that to somebody else, that's always a great feeling, to be needed. It took me my whole life to get there. So I'm very, very super stoked to be doing it right now. Other than that, behind the scenes, why not? This is where I film all the videos. So if you do watch this channel, these are my pants. Long story short, this is where the magic happens or doesn't happen, or what I come over here for? Blah, 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 me, blah, 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 guitar. Oh, spray. Yeah, if anybody has any, hey, Kristen Kruger is one of my members. Howdy doody to you. Tell you what, if you don't check out the member stuff, there's not much cracking on right now, but I am sharing a little bit more about who my is, and just talking about what the membership thing is. What I'd really like to do is have people who are members kind of, I hate saying this because I don't care about the internet or anything that happens with the comment section in life, but maybe sharing the adventure and kind of be like, tell me what to do on this channel. I have a good idea on what this content is and what I like to do out here, but I don't really feel like just getting on my channel and spooging, Diddly, 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 diddly. As of late, I've been taking requests so I could get 4,000 watch hours. I'm very, very close. I think there's like 3,400 something. Other than that, I just really wanted to take time to be able to give individual attention to people who need it. So if you become a member, that means that anytime I'm doing oh, bye, Kristen, aloha. Having an hour or 45 minutes every week to ask questions musically of what you're working on is something I really would have wanted when I was learning how to play. So the long and short of it is that's kind of what I'm offering. I think $1 is super reasonable, or $2 or whatever it is up there on the membership thing-a-ding. Lord knows YouTube's gonna take their cut. But I'm really not looking for the music. I'm looking for the music community that could arise out of this. And frankly, if you dig what I do here on the channel, by doing that, it just supports. You have to understand that every dime goes a long way. I eat food from a can every day. Although we do try to get some greens in us. But living here in Hawaii, it's super nice, but it is not just a vacation. It's very hard. It's farmland. Hi, Esther. Howdy doody to you. So what I'd like to do is I'm trying to get the Patreon all set up. I've got t-shirts for sale. I've got mugs for sale. I've got stupid logos. I've got all sorts of good ideas, but guess what? It doesn't mean anything if I can't buy 2,000 of something and then be able to send it to you. So the only way this really works is if I get stuff in bulk, and that's gonna take a little minute. But in my life, I just had my mother's passing, so I'd like to be able to deal with that and become a little bit more grounded as a result of the situation, and to help the people that I'm gonna be going back to see, my family, in any way that I can, and you know, see what happens from there. And if any therapeutic awesomeness happens from there, wonderful. And if not, it's gonna be nice to see them and see my extended family I haven't seen in quite a long time. However, you know, to each their own. I've been drifting pretty much my whole life, I get it. Now that I found myself kind of planted somewhere here in Hawaii, I teach 3 days a week. I run a labor company, and I'm slowly transitioning out of labor after getting hurt. Why? You know why? Yeah, life's hard. Dealing with it is the hard part, though, if you don't have the skills to deal with it. So understanding that's half the battle as well, so from what I've learned. So what I would like to do is just be able to help the students that I have here to acclimate with music to life. I try to show the happy side of whom I is, and truthfully, I am a happy person. I didn't realize how happy I truly am until I realized that what others don't have and what I do have. And I hate saying it, I have no God. I don't bow to a king, but I look at my own reality and think about how grateful I am for just being a part of it now. And how many years that I was not a part of it. So to anybody out there who's struggling, I'd say go get therapy. If you can't afford therapy, there's ways, and if nothing else, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody who's not going to take advantage of you and wants nothing from you. That way, you get the best of every world. You get somebody who's actually altruistic. People who are altruistic, which means they do things for others without needing anything in return, have sometimes what people don't have, and sometimes you can't buy what they have. You just have to acquire it through time and knowledge, and sometimes shutting it out. And what I've learned is I'm indifferent. I think I'm broken, but I'm kind of indifferent to everything. Love and hate is the same thing. It's just a chemical response. It depends on how you perceive it. I kind of pride myself for kind of thinking scientifically and then letting a little bit of mysticism in, but you know, I don't take myself or anybody else or anything too seriously, and that's kind of like what I do with my music. And if you are on this channel and you want to subscribe, please. The whole idea is to get really comfortable here, form a musical conversation with everybody in the community. And yeah, Kristen and I think we're all broken. We're human. It really takes more than yourself. And once you realize that, I don't know, for many of us that are watching on these channels, YouTube, it's mostly a Western world, and it's mostly males who are toxic, extremely toxic, and they're broken, and our society is broken. And it's the prime result of something called cognitive dissonance. For me, the ability to see cognitive dissonance within others is amazing. It's like ding, 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 ding. But then for myself to see how crazy I am and have somebody go pinpoint the thing that makes me not succeed or have trouble. I didn't realize it till the last year or so, but like some of my issues are like Charlie issues. And when I say that, I mean like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Character named Charlie, Frank, they both sleep on a couch. They eat tuna and throw the tuna cans out the window. And then the cats start meowing, so they huff paint to fall asleep. And long story short is they have issues that they made. Those aren't real issues. People don't deal with those issues. Only people who are nuts deal with those issues. So I think that's real funny that you could learn a little bit from everything in life. And one of those things is pain and suffering. It happens, and how you deal with it is the real crux of life. So what I do with my students, I try to teach all my students critical thinking skills, which means, oh, look at that nonsense. Garbage. Sell me something. I try to, hey Esther, howdy doody to you. One of my favorite Fish songs is called Esther. Have you heard it? It was late one night in a fairground in a town when Esther first saw the Armenian man. Ooh, I'm stringing up a guitar today and talking a little bit of therapy out there. Because, you know, life is love and hate. And there's a lot of people out there that love to hate. There's a lot of people out there that are, you know, feeling the ramifications of our reality right now. However, I like this channel to be a music space where people could ask questions. And right now, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm trying to search for members who dig the personal brand of whatever this nonsense is and also are learning music. If you become a member, you can feel free to ask me any sort of question that's music related in the member forum and chat. And hopefully, we'll gain some sort of rapport and then be able to do some magical things. I could help you with some songwriting ideas, possibilities, or just beginning to learn the instrument. I would say if you'd like lessons, support somebody in your local neighborhood that is a music instructor. Otherwise, I would love to have you on. You can reach me at bigislandtinyfootprint.com and I'll be able to tell you all the things that I'm working through here. I teach from certain curriculum. Most people who take piano want to learn the Suzuki method or Yamaha. Frankly, I've got my own special brand of hee-hoo, which, as you can tell, I'm a little odd. So my students also appreciate that, and their parents, because what happens through the course of just having music with me, you also gain something called critical thinking skills, which a lot of other teachers don't teach. I just teach those through the concept or the eyes of music. The reason why I like that and helps because it makes it a little bit more fun and interacting. Piano's boring. Nobody wants to learn scales. That sucks. But when it comes down to it, a lot of the really boring stuff that we do is a result of memorization. So I've devised my own musical program onto which I've never had any instructor ever show me. I've never seen it online, and those people who come to me and say, hey, I've tried all this blah, 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 and I still can't learn how to do blah, 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 within, 5 minutes, I'll know why that is, and then how to go from there. So the idea is I take myself as being an idiot, somebody who feasibly tries as hard as they possibly can, has downfalls as a broken human, observing a broken world, and then I take those experiences and I make lessons that are musical based to help people understand themselves and music. I don't have a degree. I just use the ability to see what people are lacking and then give them that, if that makes sense. Some people come to take lessons because they're lonely. Some people come to take lessons because they want to learn an instrument because it reminds them of another time. Some people quit. They're quitters. And they want to have the validation of knowing why they quit and then take it up again and try to regain that feeling of not being a quitter. These are all symptomatic of things I've had happen to me in my life. And as a result, I view music as being both negative and positive, having both the Eastern and the Western flair to it, having the mysticism associated with, learning music and having fun with it, and then really learning music and having fun with it. And since I don't take myself too dosh darn serious, the idea is I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. I know that I don't know things as well. So there's a real dichotomy between wanting to always be a student and learn, and then when it's appropriate to teach. And what I found is whenever I'm searching for answers, the most appropriate thing to do is to be the student. And whenever I'm looking at observations and aha moments or chung moments or zen moments, things that happen to me, I'm like, oh, I just write a song about it. And then I could reflect upon that song for a different circumstance, whatever that circumstance might be. And being very upset and kind of broken in my 20s and 30s, now that I'm in my 40s, I don't feel as distraught. I guess is an okay way to say that. It kind of time heals things. Not completely. You have to do the work on your own. But I feel like I've done that work, and I'm always going to be doing that work. And then musically, I enjoy, I hate saying it, but I enjoy that kind of observation and that struggle, understanding that the music that I have and the things I'm doing are exactly the same. So when I don't have a student show up, I'm bummed out. Like right now, I've got some students that have sports that take precedence, and the way that I have it set up is that the parents are supposed to call me and tell me what's going on. And some that don't, I have to charge them for that because it's in there. And I feel bummed out, but then I also offer a buy if they sign up and go to the website and then put in a new a newer time, had the Christopher Walken thing there, to have basically a replacement session if they could find one in my schedule to do that, but my schedule is awfully full now. So I want to add another day, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then when I realized I shouldn't take myself too seriously and I should start hanging out with the music group that we're doing here and take the last couple weeks, which have been really heavy, crashed my car, my mother passed. Long story short is having community is therapeutic and music is therapeutic. So I'm looking forward tomorrow to going playing some music with some buddies. And that means I need to take some time to tune up this old guitar and put new strings on so it doesn't sound like junk. Is anybody out there in the comments section a musician? Do you watch this channel and look at the chords and go, oh, D minor 7, cool, flat 5. I like that chord too. Anybody? Like, how do you use this channel? I don't think I've ever asked that question. Maybe I should. But yeah, what I try to do and try to focus on is I use a little bit of the know-how I have from all the failures in my life. Every gig I've ever played, every negotiation with every bar owner or event coordinator or planner, every time I've met an engineer, every time I've gone into the studio or recording. These are all valuable only to me because it allows me to assess what comes next in my own musical career. And the truth is, it's so sporadic. Like, I really wish I would have had a little bit more time being in the studio, but now is the time, right now, today. So I've been trying to do studio work for the last several months. I recorded with Mr. Bobby Durham here on Island, which was lots of fun. Thank you, Mr. Kimball, for lining that up. And long story short is I hope to be on a little recording of Mr. Bobby in Bakersfield Music. And how fun is that? I feel super grateful. And you know, I would like to do more recording, and then I would also like to meet local musicians here and have them do stuff and recordings on Island. And the truth of the fact of the matter, folks, is I got fat mouth. What I would really like to do is continue to teach here music theory, and then I'd like to open a community center. I've kind of done some research, and I found out why the other community services here on Island kind of flippity-flopped. And I would like to try my best to provide a musical community center. Like every other city I've ever lived in has one. I don't know why Hilo doesn't, but I think it would be a lot of fun to run it, and then a lot of fun to participate in everything, and basically just have a place where people can escape reality and have fun with music. And I hate, you know, saying it'll be this way or that way, but I like to have a place that has a free bar, no alcohol, free bar for food and drink that's donated, surf safe kitchen in it, and then be able to have people from out of town play up on the stage, different touring, I guess, roaming acts, and then be able to provide a safe space for people to have events like open mic nights and stuff like that. I find a lot of the music that I did when I was younger, there was always like a bar. There was always alcohol around. There was always somebody with a cooler. There was always some uncle or auntie that's just jamming, having it. And, you know, that's fine. But it comes down to this is there are other experiences in life that do not involve alcohol. And when you find those, music can be one of those. It's just a real bummer that 9 times out of 10 music is involved with alcohol. So I, as many people, went down that route, and it was always just being supplemented. One of the bummers is not realizing that as a young musician. There will be somebody who owns something or a place that you want to play at, and they will offer you beer and pizza for it. Do not take that. In fact, have them pay you a check so you can get it on writing that you've got paid by an establishment, and pay taxes on it, and become a musician. And, you know, when you get paid, make a note of it and write it down. Can't tell you how many times I've done recording and been paid for it and never wrote it down. I just started writing it down so I could, 1, keep track of it, 2, have a record of it, and 3, it's all taxable. You know, not that that's important in life, but you know, don't have much to show for music besides knowing music, and that's why I'm starting my journey at 45. So if you like what you're seeing here with the random chit chats and jibber jabbing, I'd say become a member. And if you're also a musician learning how to play, this is a fun, great channel for you to do that. Now, there's other channels out there that put charts and stuff, and if you want to go watch that, shoot, go do that, have fun. This channel, I most likely am not going to be doing any of that, putting charts and stuff on there, unless I hire somebody and they go back and then put charts on there. But it just seems like a lot of editing, and I don't have time for that in my life. Sorry. You know, but what I would like to do is provide a place for people to use the education that's already on this channel and ask questions. So if that's something you dig on, or you support my dream, become a member. It doesn't take much per month, and then you get privy to members-only content. And I'm sure I'm going to be doing something more substantial on this channel besides just like the charts and chatting like this. But the whole idea is just to become comfortable with the music community, build up the channel a little bit, find out what my actual goal is of this channel and what this channel should become or where it's going, and then go from there. Other than that, I want to send good vibes to everybody. There's a couple channels that I watch too. Any musicians right now watching on any platform? What do you watch? What channels do you watch? Where are you at with music? What you up to's? I can tell you this, I tried this morning to jam to a backing track. I went to Wiki Loops. Not bad, it was fun, but not my favorite thing to go from. I wish that they just had like drum, bass, and maybe keys. Get rid of that guitar and then be able to get rid of like the keys if you want to play keys over the top of it. I find myself noodling a lot, and I don't like to just noodle. I want it to be like chord progression driven. So when you listen to most backing tracks, they're like 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 4 1 or 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 5 5 5 5 5 5 5 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. When you play the same progressions over and over and over and over and over again, yeah, you know how to play a major scale over 3 chords that are in a possible key signature that has 7 possible tones, plus a backdoor chord called the flat 7, and you can make any one of those tonicified into a major, minor, diminished, or augmented just by altering it. But most music that is written stays with the same ideas. It keeps the same melodies, it uses the same notes, and I don't know, I find it to be an awful gosh darn shame. My personal music is weird and crazy. I love jam bands. Really into Frank Zappa, Ween, stuff like that. Will you please do a backflip off the chair? This chair? Sure. You want to become a member? In fact, would you like to call the hospital when I don't succeed? Because I won't. Although, I'm not going to lie to you. If you became a member, I would tell you a secret that I have. I'll go ahead and tell you anyway, since you're just hanging out. I did cheerleading in high school. I loved it. I was part of something called the Spirit Team my junior and senior year. My freshman and sophomore year, I played like the male sports, like football, tried to get to know the boys. And long story short is I was a goofy fat kid in Nashville, and we moved to Missouri, and I had never experienced racism before. And I had never experienced white privilege before. And I had never experienced what life was to just not have to worry. And I observed it in the people around me, and it disgusted me. I didn't understand that's what broke a lot of who I am. But eventually, what up, Wing? Wing Goat, love it. I noticed a lot of what I dislike in humanity in my 15, 16, 17, 18 when I was living in Missouri and going to a public school, and I witnessed what it is, unfettered capitalism and wealth and not having any accountability. What up, Catwoman? How you doing there today? Or Catworm? That's much better than Catwoman. Catworm. In fact, I should write a song called Catworm. But yeah, long story short is my trials and tribulations of being a failure in life have brought me to being a success in my own life. As soon as I got over myself and didn't take myself so damn seriously, I realized that life is a little bit too short and we should start enjoying it. And within the last 2-3 weeks, I've had some major life experiences which broke my brain. So I'm doing my best to get through it. And what I'd like to do is have members support this music community and me at 45 following my dream. And I know you're just here listening to some old white guy with a beard ding dong about his guitar here, but have you seen me play? Have you watched any of this channel? You watch any of the live stuff? I love it, but it's not really something that defines me. And what I'd really like to do is do something that defines me. So in the next year or so, I'm gonna be doing my best to get into the studio, play with different players, maybe tour this crazy continent. I don't know why they weren't being sent. Oh, the messages? Snap was talking. Oh, yeah. I didn't say anything. Snap, you in here? What up, Snap? If you are, it's good to see you. Yeah, I got a backflip coming up. That's what we're preparing for. How you doing today? George, how goes it? Oh, yes. I's a putting new strings on this here washburn. Not a bad guitar. I got it, I think, for $550. It's like an $800 guitar. I drove out to Waimea. Waimea is like 2.5 hours up the coast. I live on the Big Island, in the middle of the ocean, in the Pacific. That's as close as I'll get to cussing. Yeah, I live on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I teach here 3 days a week. I'm always taking new students. If you could find something that works on your schedule, check it out. Big Island TinyFootprint.com is my scheduling app. Other than that, I really enjoy living here. One of these days, I'm gonna get to take advantage of the beauty and the splendor of it. I try to go out once in a while with my wife and view the beauty that is Hawaii, but mostly I just volunteer my time in my local community to help a couple different foundations and to promote music here. Music's really my thing, I love. Tending to our lives when I can. Yep. I am tending to my live right meow, and the truth of it is, you know, I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to life. I definitely don't believe in God. I hardly believe in myself, but I'm gonna do a little bit more of that and a little bit more soul searching and be a little bit more proactive and honest. But right now, I live an okay life. I live in Hawaii. I'm building my own house. There's food to eat at night. It's not, you know, the best food, but it's food, and I'm grateful for it. I work really hard. I work labor 3 days a week. I try my best to understand systems and how they work and how I can be more efficient. But right now, what I need is for the good karma and the good practice and just putting 2 feet, 1 foot in front of another, you know, to get to the next place. And that next place is learning how to link up Patreon. This channel has 3,000 plus hours. We're almost at 4,000 to be fully monetized. As you can see, there's a tip donation here. If you want to donate a little bit, that'd be amazing. It just goes towards being able to fix all those instruments over there and give them away to students. And then once I do, I'll be able to get new gear. And I would love to be sponsored so I can play that gear and give it away. But all in due time. Hi Noah, how you doing? Danish guy. Like, are you into pastries or do you live? That's not the Rhine line, is it? No. Guess it would be near the Czech Republic. Although my geography is not that great, I have the old American education system, which isn't great. All right, I'm gonna clip up these. Does everybody want to watch the clipping? I mean, there are 5 people here. Clipping could be fun. Let's do this. Switch to my other account to chat. Oh, right on. Oh, snap, this is you? Oh, right on. Cool. How you doing, Brad? Well, that's good to know. Hopefully I remember that. I think I will. Let me just make a mental note. All right, I did it. Snap, Wingsuit, Wingoat. One of my favorite songs, not favorite songs, but one of the songs I've gotten used to by Fish is called Wingsuit. Got to put my wingsuit on. I don't know. I guess after you write like 1,000 songs and you play for a bunch of hippies, like, I don't know. I've written a bunch of songs. Some of my stuff's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Does anybody else have OCD? Like, I get it. I'm obsessive compulsive. But like, I've found ways around it so I'm not crazy. Like, I'm not like 1, 2, 3, you know, like shooting pistols or flipping light switches. But man, my special brand is nuts. I always have to do things the same exact way, or else it throws me off mentally. Does anybody else have that feeling? Does anybody have a request a cappella? Let's sing something together. Like a fool, I will stay too long. I hate doing it, but this thing goes into a landfill, you know? Wah, wah. It's just the worst. I wish there was another way, my friends, I just cannot figure it out. Been trying to make covers for people. I'm not liking my voice. Keep going in and out of pitch. Advice, yeah. What instrument do you play? Boom. Give me a second. I need my pitch pipe. Oh, here. I guess it just depends on what you're doing. Guitar, do you know your scales? Cool. What I would say, I hate saying it this way, check out my channel that talks about scales and then learn how to play the 3 different ways to play a major scale. If nothing else, just C major. When you get your C major scale and you're able to play it in the 3 different positionings, and you can do it every day for 5 minutes and then do it with a system called the circle of fifths, it gets you out of playing in first position, which is just like the first 3 frets of the first 5, and it gets you all the way up the fretboard. That's the first thing to do for music on the guitar. And then the next thing to do is while you're playing the note of any scale, like, get used to singing them. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then start off doing diatonic scale intervals. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ha 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 ha. La 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 la. Ra 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 ra. Fa 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 fa. Pa 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 pa. Ta 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 ta. Da da da. Try consonants. Try vowels. Ooh ooh ee ee oh oh I. It's not really the process of learning the notes C and D. It's about hearing the interval over and over and over and over and it's just repetition. And what happens is you start to develop a mechanism for being able to hear the intervals of 1, 5, 1, 7, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 1. When you do that, you then can sing those over the scale. So here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. I just sang a third above the root note. So if you do something weird like a fifth, you hear movement, but you can associate it to a tone, which is called the tonic or the root or the foundation. Therefore, every experience you build with your memory or the neuron synapse, which involves auditory, visual, you depend on that. So when you're learning, close your eyes. Take off one of your senses and the other one's heightened. So if you can take your instrument and play do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do and sing re, fa, sol, ma, you could sing the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 9, 10 over the top of that, then by all means, you're going to be able to sing and everything. The weird part is adding in the chromatic notes. So if you play a minor 6, then you test it at the end. If you can do that with every chromatic note in every different version, 5 minutes a day, by month 9, you should be teaching this. Does that answer your question? Right on. Rachel, wing is snap. Boom, boom, boom. Ow. Ow, ow. I'm gonna have to do this later. Folks, I get the privilege of teaching. I'm so excited.